beats.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Junior, aka Smoking Guns, out here in Tucson, Arizona, representing the Ultimate Fight Club, giving you the latest content in boxing and MMA news that is out. So today's video, man, is about this friggin' heavyweight division going down with friggin' Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury, and it looks like it's just a bunch of cluster-uck in that damn heavyweight division, especially with all the BS that's going on Eddie Hearn's side, man. And this is coming out in Boxing News 24 that made me want to make this video, where it states Tyson Fury offered 60-40 deal for Anthony Joshua fight, says Hearn. And in this article, it goes on to state, Tyson Fury has been offered 60-40 for a title shot against IBF WBO heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, and that appears to be the final offer. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn says Fury wants a 50-50 deal, which is what he was going to get for his rematch with WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder on May 18th, but he pulled out of negotiations and signed to fight Tom Schwartz on June 15th. Hearn points out that Fury is not a world champion, and that means he's not in the position to get 50% of the revenue for a fight against Anthony Joshua. However, Fury still considers himself as a world champion by continually reminding the media that he's the lineal heavyweight champion due to his victory over former IBF, IBO, WBA, WBO champion Vladimir Klitschko 4 years ago in 2015. Fury counts the victory over Vladimir as him being the lineal champion. Fury was stripped of all of his titles one by one for failing to defend them, but he sees the lineal title as a belt that he hasn't lost. Unfortunately, there's no actual title for the lineal strap. It's one of those bragging right things that some fighters and their hardcore boxing fans like to bring up. Fury is as good as anybody else out there. Of course, he'll go for the Anthony Joshua fight, but on what terms? That's the $64 million question, isn't it? Said Hearn to Behind the Gloves. He'll go for the fight, but he wants 50-50. He's a voluntary challenger against a world champion. He has massive value. He's a good fighter. He's a draw, but nowhere near a draw as Anthony Joshua, but still a big draw. He's already been told 60-40. They know that. I think that's a fair offer for Tyson Fury, who doesn't hold one belt. It's madness. They don't want to fight Joshua unless they get a deal that's too good to be true. And that's sad, Hearn said, quote. Now, with this news coming out, dude, he literally contradicts himself in this friggin' article. And to tell you the truth, it is kind of sad with the BS that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing are on with this, man, because this pretty much goes to show that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing aren't trying to make these friggin' big fights. Just for the simple fact is, it points out in this article that Tyson Fury has already demanded that he gets 50-50. And in this article, Eddie Hearn says himself that he has massive value and that he is a big draw. So with him being a big draw and having massive value, especially over there in the UK, because if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury did a fight over there in the UK, dude, that would be a friggin' huge fight. That would probably be even bigger than Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko over there in the UK. And with them not willing to give Tyson Fury 50-50 and not willing to budge on 60-40, dude, that is some straight up BS. And it just goes to show Eddie Hearn isn't trying to really make that damn fight, dog. And it also goes to show that he's BSing with a dude like Deontay Wilder and not trying to give him 50-50. And it's funny how he says in this damn article, he's already been told 60-40. They know that. I think that's a fair offer for Tyson Fury, who doesn't hold one belt. It's madness. So he doesn't hold one belt, and you're trying to give him 60-40, but Deontay Wilder has the last piece of that undisputed puzzle, and you're trying to give him 60-40, even though he has already demanded that he gets friggin' 50-50. And I came up with this in a friggin' video not too damn long ago where Eddie Hearn had came out in the friggin' article when he had invited Deontay Wilder to attend the Anthony Joshua-Andy Ruiz fight, that he said that Hearn isn't sure if Wilder can get the 50-50 split that he's asking for, but he says it's a possibility that AJ might agree to it. So he's already stating right here that he doesn't really want to give him that damn 50-50 split. And it's even more funny because he had came out in a friggin' article over there and express.co.uk where it says in this friggin' article, boxing news, Eddie Hearn reveals why Anthony Joshua should not split 50-50 with Wilder. It goes on to state in this article, Anthony Joshua should not take a 50-50 split with Deontay Wilder if the two eventually meet. That's according to Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder have been slated to fight for months, but a deal hasn't been agreed as of yet. Wilder is coming off the back of a first-round knockout over Dominic Breazeale, while Joshua is preparing to take on Andy Ruiz in New York on June 1st next Saturday. If Joshua comes through Ruiz, speculation about a potential fight between Joshua and Wilder will be rife as ever. It also goes on to state, a couple of months ago, Wilder said that he would not accept the fight with Joshua even if they split the money down in the middle. But Hearn believes Wilder isn't even deserving of the 50-50 share that Wilder is talking about. I don't think there's any point commenting about splits and negotiations if they, Wilder's camp, won't even sit down and have a conversation, he told IFL TV. What's the point in even talking about what the deal is going to be? At the end of the day, Deontay Wilder has significant value in that fight. It was a great knockout over Dominic Breazeale, but they only sold 6,000 tickets and the ratings were terrible. So commercially, how can you say that a guy coming from England to America and selling out Madison Square Garden should split the money with an American world champion who has only sold 6,000 tickets down the road in Brooklyn? Hearn went on to elaborate that the decision to split the money wouldn't even be up to him, but would be decided by Anthony Joshua. Quote, now with Hearn already coming out right now publicly stating that he doesn't want to give Deontay Wilder a 50-50 split, why would Deontay Wilder waste his friggin' times trying to keep negotiating with a dude like Eddie Hearn, who is very adamant about not wanting to give Wilder a friggin' 50-50 split? And then he wants to go on about ticket sales and stuff like that when it's already been stated in ESPN.com where it states right here, while Wilder didn't cause that kind of damage, he nonetheless obliterated Breazeale with a massive right hand for a violent first-round knockout victory before an announced crowd of 13,181 at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Quote, now, how the hell can you get 6,000 out of 13,000? Probably because Eddie Hearn is very adamant about always downplaying Deontay Wilder's numbers, because every time Deontay Wilder does big numbers, he always wants to try to downplay him, talking about how he didn't get good viewership, even though his viewership with this fight was 990,000 plus. He got 990,000 plus he got 10 million views that went friggin' viral on Twitter, 10 million plus views, because not only the 10 million plus views that was on the CBS Twitter, but all the other people's Instagrams and Twitters that had got reposted from this friggin' knockout that went viral all over the friggin' world. You had people that don't even follow boxing that was talking about this damn fight, about how Wilder friggin' slept Dominic Breazeale's ass. And with that being said, I can see why Deontay Wilder isn't trying to F with a dude like Eddie Hearn, just for the simple fact as Eddie Hearn is always on this type of BS, coming out talking about he won't give Wilder a 50-50 deal. And it's funny how it says in the article and how people will come out and say, well, Deontay Wilder already stated even if they do give him 50-50, he's not going to take it. The reason why he's not taking it, because after those failed negotiations with DAZN, failed negotiations like a dude like John Skipper publicly came out and stated they dropped the ball because they didn't have the answers to Deontay Wilder's team's questions. And if they didn't have the answers to his questions, like, is Anthony Joshua going to be getting such and such in money? How much money is Anthony Joshua getting? We want this to be a 50-50 split. John Skipper and DAZN did not have the answer to those questions. So Deontay Wilder's team figured, well, if you don't have the important answers to these questions, you guys aren't serious about this friggin' fight. And they went ahead and made their own plan and said, F Eddie Hearn, F Anthony Joshua, we're doing our own damn thing for the year. And when it came out publicly, when it was announced that Deontay Wilder was going to fight Luis Ortiz, you had a dude like Eddie Hearn who was friggin' all pissed off talking about Deontay Wilder is ducking and how's he all of a sudden going to sign a fight with Luis Ortiz. He came out in friggin' BoxingNews.com's talking about, I told you, nobody listens to me ever, said Hearn to IFL TV about the news of Wilder announcing his rematch with Ortiz on Tuesday night. So Joshua goes on ESPN yesterday and says, make the fight, and I'll sit down with you, Wilder, afterwards, and we'll do a deal. Wilder goes, shit, how do we look okay out of this? Oh, I signed a deal to fight Ortiz. Everybody, this morning. Come on, it's embarrassing. That's what it is. I told everyone, Hearn said. Well, you're actually lying about that because you didn't tell everyone that. You actually had told everybody a month prior to this friggin' interview that you just did a day ago that Hearn says Wilder's next two fights are Ortiz and Kalnaki. And this was in April 26th of this year. And he states in this article, everybody in the business tells me he's been told, and these fighters have been told, that his next two fights are Ortiz and Kalnaki. Only fight we want next is Deontay. They've got a plan to fight these other guys in place, Hearn said to Barbershop Conversations. So if you already knew a month prior that Deontay Wilder was going to be fighting Luis Ortiz and Adam Kalnaki after he fights Dominic Brazil, how are you all of a sudden surprised that Deontay Wilder signed this fight with friggin' Luis Ortiz? Because Eddie Hearn is a manipulator and he's a liar, and you guys are kind of stupid enough to believe everything he says, even though he just told you a month ago what Deontay Wilder's plan was. But he doesn't really care about Deontay Wilder's plan because now that the pressure is on him with DAZN to get a big fight for Anthony Joshua, they are literally clout chasing on a dude like Deontay Wilder trying to get that fight, even though he is not willing to give Deontay Wilder that 50-50 friggin' split that he has been asking for. And it's funny that even though Hearn already knew about this, because Hearn also has his own plan for a dude like Anthony Joshua, where pretty much he already came out talking about that Anthony Joshua already has his next three opponents lined up too. And this next three opponents are Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Usyk, and Dillian White. So if he already has a little plan for his fighter, apparently it's not too much of a surprise for a dude like Eddie Hearn, just for the simple fact is he's just trying to play to the public that a dude like Deontay Wilder is ducking, even though it has been very well known to anybody that follows boxing that Anthony Joshua has been ducking Deontay Wilder since friggin' 2016, dog. And Deontay Wilder is pretty much sick of y'all bullish, and he's just doing his own thing, making his own plan, and he'll get back to you when he gets back to you. He's going to be fighting these two dudes, and Luis Ortiz and Adam Kalnaki. Then he's going to be rematching Tyson Fury, a dude who y'all still ain't trying to give a 50-50 to be able to make a massive ass fight over there in the UK. And then when Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury handle that business, whoever's the winner of that fight, then you'll be next on the chopping block, Anthony Joshua, because it really seems like Eddie Hearn and them fools are straight up on some BS, and you can already tell that they are not really trying to fight a dude like Deontay Wilder, and they are really just clout chasing on his damn name. Anthony Joshua even came out in a friggin' interview today talking about, I would rather fight Deontay Wilder in 2 years. Anthony Joshua says Brown Bomber has only made life more difficult for himself in ruling out World Heavyweight Showdown. Deontay Wilder has ducked fighting both Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, even though Deontay Wilder already told you what his plan was for the year, and it even stated in the article I was just talking about that Tyson Fury ducked Deontay Wilder to fight friggin' Tom Schwartz. And then it states Wilder announced on Wednesday his next fight will be against Luis Ortiz. Joshua says by dodging him, Wilder only gives himself more to fear in the future. Joshua will aim to successfully defend his belts against Andy Ruiz Jr. on Saturday. So for me, I think Anthony Joshua, you might as well friggin' keep your mind on Andy Ruiz Jr. because he's definitely not going to be no slouch, especially in the earlier rounds of that damn fight. And you should stop cloud chasing. Already know Deontay Wilder already has a plan for himself that you guys already friggin' knew over a month ago about what he's going to be doing for the rest of this year. And hopefully you won't be on that BS next year when that fight does come your way and talking about he doesn't deserve a 50-50 split. And if I was you, I would kind of worry about your own friggin' ticket sales, because even when you look at Anthony Joshua's ticket sales over there in New York, man, I went to friggin' StubHub.com, dog, and when I looked at his friggin' ticket sales, all I see is friggin' blue, dog. I don't see him selling out nothing. This food is sold out friggin' CB214 and all these damn friggin' nosebleeds up here. You owe non-ticket selling ass. You owe 2-for-1 ticket selling ass. You owe selling tickets on Groupon looking ass. You better worry about your own ticket sales for this damn fight that you got with Andy Ruiz, because it don't look like you selling nothing. And it definitely looks like anytime you come over here to the US, you definitely gonna need a dude like Deontay Wilder, because with anybody else, dude, look at these whack ass ticket sales, dog. You ain't selling friggin' nothing, all right, you guys? So I hope you guys like the video. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys have any kind of questions, any kind of comments, hit me up in the comment section and I'll be sure to hit you guys up, all right? So I hope you like the video. Holla at your boy.